What is up, everyone? JD here. Hope you're doing well today. Today, we're going to be looking at the Kizer sheepdog. Let's get into it. All right, so we have the Kizer sheepdog here on the channel yet again. We have checked out the original variant that had the flipper tab. We had the thumb hole variant, which is still the best variant. We had the button lock variant, which I'm not as big a fan of. I actually would say that the liner lock or frame lock with the opening hole is probably still my personal favorite. But today we have the most recent iteration, which has their clutch lock mechanism, which is adjustable, and it has aluminum scales. And that to me makes this a bit of an upgrade over that base variant that comes with G10 or micarta. Really like this one. So what we're going to do today is we're going to actually do some size comparisons. We'll go profile comparisons and we'll check the weight, and then we'll go into the full review of the Kizer sheepdog. So we are going to start it off with the Devo Knives Pony Stout and the Civivi Praxis. I don't know how these keep getting lower and lower on the screen, I feel like. And as you can see, this is definitely more what I would constitute a full to medium size knife, or a medium to full size knife, I should say. It is falling right in between the two of these knives here. So let's move the Pony Stout out of the way, and we're going to bring in the Migron Moyarl. And as you can see, the Moyarl, which I consider a medium knife, is going to be right on par with the sheepdog. Moving that Praxis out of the way, let's bring out the Civivi Vision FG, which I consider to be more of a full-size knife, like right at that beginning of the full-size knives. And that is going to be just a little bit bigger than both these knives on the table. So since it is medium, let's go ahead and compare it against the Praxis and the Moyarl for a comparison on the profile so you can see how thin or thick the knife is. Here it is against the Moyarl. And as you can see, these two are pretty much, I would say, yeah, they're identical. The chamfering might throw it off a little bit there, but when you go out past that chamfering, I would say that they're about the same. And then we'll check it out against the Praxis since it's a little bit closer to the Praxis. And you can see I would probably give just a skosh of thickness to that sheepdog. Now let's check it out, because what I am curious to see is versus the micarta, how the aluminum stacks up on the weight. And of course the sheepdog has a very large blade on it, so this is going to be a little bit closer to the 5 ounce and not the 3 ounce mark. Yeah, so coming in at 4.7 ounces. Not bad though, considering how much steel you actually have on the blade for this particular knife. First thing that I want to point out is the aluminum scales. Ergonomically, these feel really nice. Kizer has done a really good job, as has Civivi and Sencut on their aluminum. The coating they throw on here is light powdery. It's not super powdery to where it feels gritty, but it has good texture and tackiness to it, which I like. I think that was a smart move on their part, and it makes it feel a little bit more premium, a little bit more solid in the hand. Kind of reminds me of titanium as far as how it feels in hand. So I do like that. ProTech does that a lot with a lot of their models as well. And aluminum's a very strong material. It may scratch easily, superficially, but it's going to be very strong. It's going to be able to hold up to use and abuse. So same great ergos that I like about the sheepdog, but now with these aluminum scales. I also like the fact that they went ahead and threw a little bit of milled outlines here for some extra grippiness on here. That actually does come into play. Your fingers kind of land right on it in this position, and then still here in that choked up position where you're able to pull up on that forward finger choil. So those work really good. You got a deep carry pocket clip. This is the same sheepdog pocket clip that's been on all their models, I believe, except for the titanium variant. So we'll use the old pocket organizer here to demonstrate that. This one being a little bit thicker. I don't usually carry this thick of a knife in there, but you can see it does push down a little bit because of the stiffness. Not that this canvas material is as good as the denim, but on the pants, you just get past that and push it and it slides right in, and then there's nothing left hanging out of the pocket. Works really well. It is reversible as well, which I love because this clutch lock is ambidextrous. You have thumb studs or the opening hole for the deployment. The thumb stud is a little small. I would have liked to have seen something a little bit more girthy, similar to what you see here on the um, Vision FG. I think they protrude out a little bit more, and I think they're a little bit thicker overall. Just that little extra bit of real estate would have been nice because these do feel a little bit pokey versus what I see there on the Praxis. Those feel very comfortable for the deployment, but the thumb studs work really well. You're able to fire that right out. They're in a good spot to where you get plenty of leverage against that clutch lock mechanism, and you're able to really just snap it open. And listen to those sounds. Really clicky sounds. I like that a lot. Now that opening hole is more for reverse flicking, and my hands are just on the line of being able to comfortably do that. I kind of have to push in there a little bit to make sure I get a secure grip, but they did a good job making sure that you do have a sharp enough lip to catch on it without it being too sharp. If I catch it right below the fingernail, it's a little sketch. It feels like it's going to slide, but if I go in with the fingernail, it goes out really good. The fuller down here, I tried to use that up here, and it kind of slips off the nail. Oddly though, if you go down here and you use the meat of your thumb, it works really well. So I guess if you're kind of kicking it out sideways, like I can't remember what model I said that you can do that on, but it's usually what I do if I want to reverse flick off of the blade. If it doesn't have a fuller device for reverse flicking, that's typically where I'll go. And here's a great example. So we have no thumb studs here, and I'm able to kind of kick off of there, even though I just slid a little bit there off of the blade where you kind of hit that stop point for the grind line. It's right there where you're able to kind of hit it. That's similar to what you're able to do with this one here. They do such a good job. I think Kizer probably has the best crossbar lock system out there. It feels really stout on the opening and then very smooth and buttery on the close. They have good thumb studs on the access locks, or access lock studs, I guess is the appropriate way to say that. And you see how I keep slipping off those thumb studs? That's why I wish they were just a touch thicker. I do that a lot with this one. This is adjustable, but I think this is the revised variant, if I recall correctly. I think my flashlight is over here now. Got tired of it kind of falling off of the little bit of lint there, falling off of the drawer here. So yeah, so this one has the updated 3-hole system. So I'm hoping that you're able to kind of see that. It's right in this vicinity here. And I don't think I have a good angle. So hopefully you're able to see that there. It has the 3-hole system, which I think is plenty of adjustment. I don't think you need much more than that, to be honest, for this clutch lock mechanism. This one here appears to be in that middle hole, and for me, that's perfect. It's very, very stout, works really well with all the deployment methods. And the thing that's probably most impressive about the sheepdog, while it is a big, thick cleaver style blade, it's still pretty slicey for the size of this knife. It's got a thin blade stock on it, and it moves through the material really well. Kizer does some of the nicest black wash out there, and you can see it here against the Praxis. You can see theirs looks more beat up, a little bit more of a lighter tone to it. Just looks more used. So I really love Kizer's black wash. They do such a fantastic job with it. Aluminum, clutch lock, 154 cm, thumb stud, thumb hole, keyhole opening system. I just tried to do a liner lock. I'm so used to that on the sheepdog. Actually, I have the frame lock variant with aluminum, which to me is an upgrade over G10 or micarta. Thumb stud, opening hole, and this clutch lock system, which is stronger than a liner lock system is going to be. It's going to hold up to abuse better, and to me, a little bit safer to operate. You can just pull it down, let the blade fall, even if you're not good at timing it. It has so much weight in the blade, it's just going to fall right back into place, and you can let the lock up, or you can just let it fall. The weight by itself kind of will carry it, if you get that timing right. You can kind of hear it hit and stop. So I really like this model. Let me know what you think about the revised Kizer sheepdog with the clutch lock. You feeling it? You like the fact that they added the aluminum on there? Tell me about it down in the comments below. Alternatively, I would probably say the only other thing that's interesting at around this price, actually coming in less than this, is the Civivi Vision FG. I really love this super lock. They do a good job with their micarta. It's one of the best budget micartas out there, is done by Civivi, and it shines through on this model here for me. Again, coming in at under 80, super lock Nitro V, which 154 cm is probably a bit more well-rounded and going to hold an edge a little bit longer, but it's going to be a very negligible difference. It's going to be hard to see that on the day-to-day. They both have a reversible pocket clip with an ambidextrous lock. They both have a spring system, so it's not going to be a traditional detent system, but I think that is a really compelling alternative recommendation depending on what style you like. I think this is probably more EDC friendly. It's probably going to appeal to more people than a sheepdog, but the sheepdog I love. It has a lot of attitude about it, and it's still a really good performing EDC. It's not going to be able to get into your tight spots as easily as what you saw over there on the Vision, but it's still going to handle a lot of your tasks, get into your packages, going to break your box down. A little bit more weight in the pocket on this one too. I think, if I recall correctly, I think the Vision FG is coming in at under 4.5. Actually, I think they might be close to the same. No, 4.2, yeah, under 4.5. And this one again coming in over 4.5 at 4.7. So a little bit of a difference on the weight, but not much. Let me know what you think down in the comments. As I mentioned earlier, I want to give a shout out to everyone out there that leaves the likes, that has commented, and is subscribed. I appreciate the support. Love you guys. Hope you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.